Harvey's Brewery, Georgian Dragon.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. The sun is well and truly over the yard arm, and that means it's beer time. And I've got a bottle of this stuff from the Harvey's Brewery. This is their Georgian Dragon. I would class this as an ESB, an extra special bitter, or a strong bitter. It's got all the makings of a good one, but I'll go into what that is in a bit. Firstly, a little bit about the brewery. Of course, Harvey's, not sure whether you've seen the other Harvey's reviews that I've done, but if you haven't, I'll quickly go into what the brewery is. It's one of the oldest breweries in the county of Sussex. I think it might actually be the oldest one, certainly the oldest independent brewery in Sussex, but they were going since I think it's the mid 1700s. And they've been brewing ever since. They do a wide variety of traditional beers and some newer ones as well. They do imperial stouts, IPAs, etc, etc. I've not tried them. I bought a few of them. I've tried the Prince of Denmark, which was a barley wine, like if you like. Also tried the stout that they had. They called it a... What was it? Yeah, it was an imperial stout. It was a strong stout. That was quite nice, actually. And one of my favourite British styles of beer is ruby ale, ESB, old ale, whatever you want to call it. You know, that strong, malty, hoppy brew, but brewing British hops, so it gives it a unique, earthy and spicy and bitter finish on it as well. And of course, you know, Harvey's have been doing this for years. In fact, this actual beer was named after Dr. Gideon Mantell. Dr. Gideon Mantell, that's it. He's basically the father of paleontology. He started classifying all the prehistoric animals like the dinosaurs and stuff, giving them names, etc, etc, and you'll see that on the label here. That's one of his drawings, and they put it on here, and it's a little bit of a sort of tribute to St George's Day as well, so you know, they've killed two birds with one stone there, excuse the pun. Let's stop talking about the brewery and let's investigate the beer. Magoo will do what he does. Right, Harvey's Brewery, Georgian Dragon, ruby ale with pioneer hops. Pioneer hops. Okay. A hint of fruitcake. That's what it says. Ruby ale with pioneer hops. A hint of fruitcake. Okay. That's a bit weird. Pioneer hops, of course, are very similar to East Kent Goldings, or Kent Goldings if you like, and they will give off some citrus peel, herby type aromas, spicy, and some grassy notes as well. So it's a typical British hop, typical British tasting hop and smelling hop as well. That is Pioneer. What does it say on the side? A beer celebrating England's father of paleontology in 1821, Lewis Doctor and fossil collector Gideon Mantell's understanding of fossilised iguanodon. It is iguanodon, that's how you say it. Iguanodon teeth, discovered in a Sussex quarry, heralded the start of the classification of prehistoric reptiles. Ruby in colour with a fruity aroma and a sustained lingering bitterness. We won't be druv. That is the motto of the brewery. We won't be druv. I think it means they'll stay independent. We won't be driven. I think that's what it translates to in country bumpkin language. I don't know, because I'm from London. Anyway, enough about my heritage. Let's get this beer tasted. Right. There's the cap. It is just a plain red cap. Nothing to see here. Here's the label. That is the picture of the, I think it's an iguanodon, or whatever it is. Quite a nice one. What are we getting on the nose? Oh yeah. Wow. First thing that hits me is fruit. Dark fruit. Like damson and blackberry. And there's a bitterness to it. Strong earthy bitterness to it, which I'm assuming is coming from the hops, but it's dominated by the fruit. It's almost like roasted dark fruit, if you can imagine that. Imagine burnt raisins. That sort of, you know that bitterness. It's nice. It does smell promising. Let's get it in the glass. Now this is chilled, so I'm hoping that I'm not killing the flavours with it, with the temperature I've got it at. It doesn't say anything about it being bottle conditioned, so I'm assuming this is filtered. And there it is. In the glass, yeah. Nice colour. Is it a ruby? Yeah, I'd call that a ruby. Might not look like that on the camera, but yeah, if I got that, I'd say that was a very sort of chestnutty, mahogany type colour. What are we getting on the nose? Yeah, more of them dark fruits. This is intriguing, this is, because there's a little bit of citrus on there now as well. And there's a touch of toffee, malt. Or is it caramel? No, that smells like toffee, but I'm not sure if I'm confusing the toffee with where there's so much fruit. It's nice though, it does smell good. Let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, that is nice. That is a lovely. Oh, and there's a long aftertaste on it as well. Nice bitter finish on it. Like, again, like dark fruit, but with a hop bitterness, an earthy British hop bitterness on the arse end of it. I think that is more toffee malt than caramel on that. But the fruit is what this is, and they're saying fruit cake. It's got elements of that in there, but the hop bitterness on this is coming through, and it's what I'd call a classic British or classic English bitter. It has got everything, all the characteristics of that. Toffee malt, dark fruit, bitter, hoppy finish on the end of it. It's what we do best. It's what the British do best. This type of beer. And I like it. That is a good one. 4.7%. So you could possibly session this. You'd have to potentially go a bit easy in it. Quite a good body to it as well. They haven't mentioned putting wheat into it or anything, or oats or whatever, but there is a strong body to it. The bitter finish on this on the end is just, it just screams English bitter. The hop characteristic in this, I mean, I think that is the only hop they've got in there, Pioneer hops. So I think if you wanna, you know, as I said with the Concord, a fucking idiot, the Bluebird ale from the Coniston Brewery, if you want it, you know, just taste Challenger hops on their own, then that's a really good showcase for it, because they're only using one hop. As far as I know, they're only using the one hop in this, and it's Pioneer. Now, personally, I think Pioneer is very similar to East Kent Goldings, or Kent Goldings, if you know what I mean. And I think if you want to get that characteristic, or you want to try it on its own, just to get that taste of that hop character, get yourself some of this Georgian Dragon, because the hop character in this is quite strong. And that comes out right at the end. In the mouth, it's all about the toffee malt. And on the finish, you're getting light fruit, or sorry, you're getting dark fruit, and then you get your hop bitter finish on the end. Very nice. Lovely. That's a lovely example of a British ESB, or bitter, or ruby ale, if you want to, whatever you want to call it. I do think, looking at it now, it's slightly lightly coloured for a ruby ale, in my opinion, but that's what they've called it. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, because it's my favourite English style of beer. And I do like the British IPAs and the pale ales, don't get me wrong, but for me, ruby ales, ESBs, old ales, you know, the malt, heavy malt, bitter hop, earthy hop, dark fruit, that's my thing. And this fits the bill very nicely indeed. So what's the verdict on Georgian Dragon? Yeah, it was what I was expecting. A very, very good, typically English, bitter, stroke ESB, stroke strong ale. Well, strong ale may be pushing it a little bit. It's 4.7%, but it's got the characteristics of it. It's got tons of toffee malt in there. The British hop character from the Pioneer hops, your dark fruit like your damson and your blackberry and your raisin, and then of course what makes bitter, the finish. Lovely, really nice, typically English, and I love it. For me, that is an 8.5 out of 10. Why haven't I given it more? I do think there's better out there, but this is certainly not a bad one, and if I saw this in a pub, I would definitely be making a beeline for that, because this is nice. I could probably drink quite a few of these. It's very nice. And there's a little bit of citrus on there, like a little bit of orange zest. Very nice indeed. Do like that. 8.5 out of 10. Recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.